Okay, in this video we're going to talk about, now you have been a CEO for a while. You've got your company going the way you want it to be. And you're like, okay, I'm in a good spot. Now, one of the things to be in a good spot that you have to do is you have to have clarity and purpose, a vision. People have to understand their role and how, not what or how, but why they're important, how their jobs, how what they do connects to the mission of the district overall or the company overall. And that's hard. But if you don't have that, then what you can have is you can have two things that you don't want to have. If you think about a line, and I'll have in our handout for this more information, but think about this. You want to have a brisk, business-like, professional environment where people know what they're doing, they have a purpose, they like what they're doing. And if you had a line and say on one end of the line you have apathy, then the other end of the line you have anxiety. Well, if you're going too slow or you don't have a mission and people are not dialed in, they're going to have apathy. You know, no one cares about me. Why am I doing this? My job means nothing. On the other hand, if you go too fast and you're fast and furious and you overwhelm your people, they're going to have anxiety. And you want to have that healthy tension in the middle where it's that creative tension where you know that you're connected. No matter what your role is, you're connected. If you think about it, in your organization, how important were your custodial staff members during COVID? I mean, their roles were elevated. They had a purpose like never before because they were helping to keep you safe. We all have roles. We all have a purpose. And no matter if you're the CEO, you've got to make sure everyone in your organization feels valued. And that's hard to do. But when you do that and you have that healthy tension, then you're going to thrive. Now, today we're going to also talk about something else that you've got to manage in your culture. You're thriving. You're doing well. You put programs in. You put things in. There'll be times where, you know, it's easy as a leader when you come in and say, this doesn't work, this needs to be replaced. But what happens when you're 5 years in and you're doing very well, and now you've got to look at how do I manage the waves of change? Now, what do I mean by change waves? I mean, we all have a life cycle. You're born, you thrive, you decline, and you die. Well, organizations do that too. Most of the Fortune 500 companies 100 years ago are not even in existence today. So if you're going to protect your country, your company, and your culture, then how do you do that? Well, you've got to be able to stay focused on the nuts and bolts of your organization, your purpose, your mission, but also you've got to build in enough flexibility to be able to look for the future and manage change and anticipate things that are coming. And the only way to do that is to ensure that you have the time to be reflective and creative and your team so you can look to the future and you can reinvent yourself. But that's also going to mean, and this is tough, when you've got something you put in that's working, there'll be times where you may have to go to your board or your boss and say, boss, we really need to change something. But to do that, we may actually decline for a short period of time because we've got to learn something new. And you've got to have that trust to be vulnerable. And you've got to be in an environment where you can thrive and people know that you may actually decline for a short period of time. But then after you go through the change process and you have a new rhythm, you'll thrive.